Jai Opetaia will defend his lineal Cruiserweight Championship of the World this Sunday, 5:30 p.m. Eastern on Zuffa Boxing, presented by Paramount Plus. He will take on Brandon Glanton, who is supposedly ranked number 8 by Zuffa Boxing, and this will be this platform's inaugural fight for their World Championship. Interesting drama, as Jai Opetaia is the reigning IBF Cruiserweight Champion of the World. He also holds the Ring Magazine belt. It's interesting to see how they rectify all of these titles. The IBF has come out publicly and said they will not sanction this fight for the IBF Championship if the Zuffa Boxing inaugural title is on the line. So we've got a lot of changes coming to boxing if Zuffa really does take off. Opetaia has been on a massive hit streak since beating Marius Briedis back in July of 2022 to win the IBF belt. The only person to actually make it the distance with him at cruiserweight during that time is the rematch with Briedis that happened for the vacant IBF belt. And I bring that up on purpose because the IBF has stripped Opetaia before for not doing what they want to do. I see no reason to think that they won't do that again. Since then, he has just been knocking everybody out. The only guy who made it past round 6 was in his last fight back in December of 2025. Sin Cara, I did a video on it here. He gave Sin Cara a brain bleed. This is one massive punching guy, and no doubt why Zuffa signed him from that southpaw stance. He is utterly devastating with that left hand when he lands it, and I expect Brandon Glanton to be quick work. The fact that Brandon Glanton is currently ranked 8th by Zuffa Boxing is pretty interesting. That just means that he's ranked 8th based on the fighters that they have access to. Now, he is ranked in some of the other sanctioning bodies. In the IBF, he's ranked 15th. Typically, 15th, even for a voluntary defense, is the minimum for a sanctioning body unless it is a unification or someone moving up as a title holder from another class. He is also not ranked by the WBA. The WBC does have him at number 8, and the WBO has him, at number 11. So he is a cruiserweight that's been around for a while. He's been in some big fights. I wouldn't say big fights, but marginal fights at world level. He is 21-0, 18 knockouts, and he has 3 losses. His most recent loss was against Chris Billam-Smith back in April of 2025 at Tottenham Hotspur. Not an inspired performance, really. Billam-Smith was pretty much in control the entire fight. I think the biggest loss on his record that sort of says the most about where he is on world level, back in March of 2023, he lost to Sozlan Asbarov, who at the time only had 3 fights. This was in Dubai, and he lost a decision. Before that, he lost to a guy named David Light, who was undefeated. It's hard to find a fight that you could say was his best win. I suppose it was against Marcus Brown back in October of 2025. So these two guys not entirely inactive. This is a showcase fight for Opetaia. This is one sort of like F.A. Ajaba versus Charles Martin in the heavyweight debut of Zuffa, is designed to create a spectacular knockout and draw viewers in, casuals who are Paramount Plus subscribers, that Dana White and others want to continue to consume this product. UFC in its early days, and even frankly in some of its recent fights, thrives off of mismatches because they're exciting. They produce brutal knockouts or brutal finishes. I expect this to be the exact same way. Opetaia is going to make quick work of this guy. I would put it under 4 rounds. This fight will end before 4 rounds have been completed. Opetaia is going to want to make a massive statement on a massive stage. So why even cover this fight? Why is it important? We are reaching an impasse here between what Zuffa is trying to do, what the sanctioning bodies have always tried to do, and even what Turki Al-Sheikh with Riyadh Season and his ring cards are trying to do. Will the Ring Magazine belt be featured here, or is that against Zuffa policy? Will Jai Opetaia be allowed to wear whatever he wants, or will he be wearing the Zuffa prescribed 1990s, PE gym class outfits that these guys are having to wear? The IBF surely would have sanctioned this bout, but Zuffa's probably, and I'm speculating here, there's been some reporting on this, but nothing too concrete. I'm speculating that the IBF is not even going to be allowed in the building. They're not going to have a ringside, guy at ringside. They're not going to be able to parade their belt around. They're not going to be able to wrap the belt around the winner. Zuffa's all about branding right now. They don't want the IBF anywhere near it. So, of course, they're not going to sanction it. Now, this is sort of contrary to what Turkey does. Turkey, Al-Sheikh, does love the belts, and he's all about the belts. And his partnership with Dana White, it's going to be interesting, and especially when we see things like Conor Benn signing a Zuffa contract only to fight on Netflix, not on Paramount Plus. So we're creating a lot of clash here between the promoters and this new experimental league that is Zuffa. They've done some things well. They've done some things poorly. I don't know about just completely getting rid of sanctioning bodies. It's not something that can be done at this stage. They're taking the UFC model from the early days and trying to translate it into a boxing model. And the reason I don't think that's going to work long term is because UFC was a brand new sport when Dana White took it over, and when he, created weight classes and got the state athletic commissions to sanction it and created the UFC championship belt. Those were brand new things. Here you're trying to replace decades, if not over a century of tradition with something new. So I'm not entirely sure that thing will work. More boxing is always better for us. I'm glad they're out there, but I do think they're going to have to give up some concessions, especially if they want to sign the biggest fighters. Now, my final point on that is one of the reasons that Opetaia was signed is he is not slated to remain at cruiserweight. This is their big heavyweight. And when I say big, I don't mean size. I mean their big signing heavyweight. This is the guy that, we were told they were only going to do legacy weight divisions. Well, cruiserweight is not a legacy weight division. But they kept it because they were going to get Opetaia. And they knew Opetaia was going to move up, right? And so as the era of Usyk and Fury and Anthony Joshua, even of guys like Daniel Dubois, as they start to transition into retirement or into sort of irrelevance, what they're hoping to do is move Opetaia up to heavyweight and then claim that they have the heavyweight champion of the world. And, one of the things that HBO used to do in its heyday was they made a strategic effort to sign two fighters at all times. The heavyweight champion of the world, the consensus, whoever that was, and the consensus pound-for-pound best fighter in the world. That is how they created the product that they were able to put out to the consumer. Zuffa is hoping to do the same, and they're hoping that Opetaia can lead them down that line of getting the consensus heavyweight champion of the world. And it will make a lot of sense for them to say, well, why a cruiserweight can move up to heavyweight, and then we'll hear things about Usyk, and we'll hear things about Holyfield. They'll probably talk about David Haye because they're trying to get Brits to watch it too. So that's what they're going to say. Well, the number one cruiserweight in the world is going to move up. Guess what? This is for the Zuffa inaugural heavyweight championship against somebody like F.A. Agjaba. It will happen. Guys, easy pick this fight. Opetaia by destruction inside of 4 rounds. Let me know what you think in the comments, and let me know what you think about the drama between the IBF and Zuffa. I'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching.